only the fifth time trying to record this today. The little bug is flying around, but Coy and I are back again. It is Tuesday. I've just come back from the Woodward Dream Cruise. Very wild experience. You guys hate covering up them potholes. I've never experienced a pothole so deep.
Heather was in Detroit. Hold up your hand. Show us on the glove where Detroit is.
Here is where I was, and here is where my ex lives. So we couldn't have been farther apart.
You could have been
close.
farther apart in the relationship and on the Michigan.
We were farther apart while we were dating. So I'm back from Detroit. It was wild. It's so funny. One of the members in Sugar Cookie Marketing, she was like, "Oh, I was at the Crossfire group," and I was like, "No way." And she was like, "Yeah, actually, my husband made the fittings for Dodge Vipers for the headlight assembly."
That's so funny. You guys could have been
She
passing at a
brought
red light.
cookies to her Chrysler Crossfire group up at Woodward, which I think she's.
And why didn't you bring little
No,
Viper cookies to your little Crossfire group?
Listen, the Viper had no. I left. They're like, your car has zero coolant in it, and it's so funny. For the past couple of weeks, I've been noticing water spots under the car. You know, you always see a spot,
Yeah,
like it's
sure.
a taste if it has like a death taste to it. I was like, no, this is water. And somebody had, in the past of the 31 years, had taped up the coolant tank, and the tape had finally failed. So it was
No
water.
way.
Yeah.
So did you have to buy a new coolant tank, or can you
On
just
its way, girl.
tape that bad boy up again for the next 30?
It's on its way, girl. So jumping in, we're Sugar Cookie Marketing Group with the twins. We're Heather and Corey, and we thought this podcast would be cool to kind of tell you more about this. We're in a series of the new beginner baker. And kind of telling you
Yes.
like how to get started. Last week we talked about like if you have no cookies to make content from, how do you make content cookies?
Yeah. Not saying we're turning our backs on the old bakers, but you're like little butterflies. We got you when you were little worms, and now you become beautiful butterflies. And sometimes you just need to fly away. But not saying you have to fly away. You can just we're just going for the grubs. The grubs out there.
Kind of little grub over here. So just to kind of give you guys some kind of backstory of who we are, Corey and I are we're fraternal twins, but we look identical. Most people get us confused. My mom called us that one over there, and you knew what I meant. Those are our names growing up.
Yeah. Hey, you, and get your bun up. I'm sure I was get your bun up. So
Yeah. So growing up, Corey and I spent a ton of time together. We came from like private fundamental religious school. We were always in private school. So the two of us were majority rural in these really small classes. And growing up, I said I always wanted to get into business, and Corey wanted to be a teacher, which is wild to me. Well, I
you
guess
know
you're kind of
what?
doing it. You wanted to be a
kind
school
of.
teacher.
And I'm like, why did I ever want to be a teacher? I just think other people were doing it, and I said, let me do that too, I guess. It's not like I like felt a calling to it. I just like, I guess I could teach them.
So
That
we
wasn't
ended up going to college, and you majored in what?
business something or other.
Same, business administration with focus on marketing. So I've always thought that business, our dad is a business owner, our grandfather is a business owner. It's a lot around us. So I always say, once you see somebody else doing it, kind of breaks down the barrier of this enigma of how do I get started. Now, a lot of the bakers that came here didn't come here to start a business. They came here to start a hobby, and someone said, "Can I buy that from you?" So
Yeah.
if you're like every one of us, that should be the same concept of how you got started, where I just wanted to do something. I took a poll in the Facebook group last week. Some people were like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I want to do something I could stay at home. Someone said, I'm tired of my job. I want another option. Someone said, I was just looking for something to do, and people started buying. So the origin story of everyone's so unique, but we all find ourselves in the same position, business ownership, whether part-time or full-time. We're having to pay the same taxes. We're having to make the same websites. We're still having to focus on how to acquire that customer.
Yeah.
How do I keep our costs low while still having quality remain high? And I find that sugar cookies are so unique because the skill set's so apparent.
It
You have the HVAC guy come, and does the AC turn on or does it turn off?
Yeah.
That's the skill set, right? And I'm sure there's so much skill involved there, but it's really hidden behind the paneling in your basement.
Sure.
Now we have the sugar cookie thing. Not only does it have to look cute, it has to taste good as well.
Yeah, man. It's so funny. You're right. The origin story of everyone is different, and no one woke up and be like, I want to market today. Like, that's not what anyone woke up wanting to say.
It's a newborn baby deer trying to trip over to find invoicing software where they just learned how to make meringue powder, and they got the icing consistency for the right the first time in their lives. And now they're getting orders, which is such an overwhelmingly fun, but also stressful feeling. I don't think in business ownership have I ever had a day where I didn't go to bed thinking about a problem.
Absolutely. And with cookie decorating, it's still in the back of my mind. The the one thing me and Heather actually have worked together for the last decade in marketing together. And marketing is different because, like, you can update a website and they can see the updated website. The problem is you make these cookies and you hope somebody likes them when they come to pick up. And it's even now, I've been baking for the last 7 years, and I'll look at a set and I'll be like, well, I can always refund them if they hate. Like, I
Yeah.
still tell
Corey
myself
will
that.
say that. Corey will be like, "Do you like these?" I was like, "They're great." And she's like, "But if they don't like them, I can refund them." Like,
I'm like
yeah, okay.
reassuring myself.
Corey always plays musical chairs with that disclaimer. Like, they're great, but I'll
Yeah.
refund you if I have to. So, kind of understanding where we come from and understanding where you come from, it's not all that different. In fact, it's exactly the same because Corey started the exact same way. To give you a little backstory, I've always been in business and infatuated with the internet and e-commerce sales. Corey has always been in the service sales, so direct sales, which was cars and service-based businesses.
Yeah.
I did do that as well. And then we met here in the middle, where back almost 10 years ago, she was like, "Hey, let's sell marketing to service-based business." So a combination of all of these things with the focus on search engine optimization, which has gone through its own
Oh, it's
grubby rebirth in the
yeah,
last
so
few
many
years.
rebirths. So it's been great because we've had to stay on our toes. And the great part is when we're staying on our toes in the marketing world, we can pass that on to you in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group. Like, hey, here's an update, like the update to Instagram. You can now post pictures in the comments.
I really like that.
Coolest thing.
Fun thing now with the advent of vertical video. So if you're a new baker and you're overwhelmed, you're amongst friends, right? We'll be your guide. We are your Yodas. You're not in the wrong spot to feel overwhelmed. The seasoned bakers listening to this also is overwhelmed because what
Yeah.
worked for them 5 years ago doesn't work suddenly anymore. You are new in that you have the tools today that just came out that we all have to migrate to. So in that realm, you are more flexible. You're more
Yes, you're
less red tape.
moldable. You're not so stuck in your ways, which a lot of us who've been doing it for a while are kind of stuck in the ways. I love a still photo. I love just a photo of cookies because that's how I started. Now the internet said, we don't really like the still photos anymore. We want videos.
It's so interesting. I was reading gossip in another group where a lady was saying that her pictures were so good, and they were, that she's being accused of AI. And that is another symptom
Yeah,
of this being so good that you actually look robotic.
that's so
Uh,
funny.
so back to my 20s, I decided to start e-commerce websites just to understand how e-commerce works because it was always fascinating to me that you could post something online at a price that included profit and somebody would buy that from you.
Yeah.
Somebody from anywhere in the world, really. So I started selling what everyone was doing, t-shirts.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
thought it would be cool. I sourced the t-shirts from a Chinese manufacturer. I got my blanks. I had to pay the $200 for the first shirt to see if I liked it. Then I did my bulk order. I was doing this on a 20-year-old's budget. I had no money. Yeah, I just really want to put all my chips in red and understand how this all
Yeah.
works. I had to locate a direct to garment printer guy. I learned a little bit about printing where they fuse the color to the threads. So you know those shirts, then they have that plasticky feeling and they make you sweat.
Yes.
These didn't do that. It blended the color into the fibers.
Is
Had
that
to
what they
find a
call
look.
DTF
Yeah,
prints?
yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
found this guy. He thanked me years later, and he's like, "You really got me off my butt," and I really got. And he moved up to a brick and mortar and everything.
Oh,
Yes, I did go to
wow.
his basement to get this printed.
Yeah. Gotta do what you
So
gotta do.
yeah, just really understanding how e-commerce worked, how sourcing materials worked, how imports, it was a little bit easier back then, worked, and then managing inventory and
Hmm.
using inventory e-commerce-based software, which is started with Shopify, which is why you see me recommend it a lot, to kind of manage the moving pieces of this. Then the psychological side of that. So while I was doing this on the side, I was doing service-based sales full time for property restoration, which is another fascinating billion-dollar industry that no one knows exists until your house burns down. And when your house burns down, suddenly a bunch of strangers appear upon your lawn, and
Yeah.
it's a
Heather
wild
was
experience.
heading up the B2B portion, so business to business portion, which is a whole other monster. If you're a cookie decorator, you're considered B2C, business to consumer. and they both have their own hurdles. I think B2B can sometimes be just overwhelming because it's a long road to a sale.
B2B, business to business sales, it's the big strategy is finding who the decision maker is. And it was
Yeah.
always the decision makers in that back office, but technically it's the lady sitting at the front because she's what allows you to get to the back office. And
Yes.
Corey also did service-based sales in terms of air duct cleaning, another industry you don't know is $1 billion industry.
Yeah,
And
billions.
you had to do B2B incentive programs.
Yeah,
So,
B2B incentivizing other businesses to want to sell our things. But before that, I was B2C in car sales,
which is
just the
fascinating.
grossest bottom rung. If you're a car salesperson or married to someone, they're gross. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, it was just like how to get someone to buy in a very big item in a short amount of time. And that to me has fallen most similar into the cookie decorating world. People who come to the lot want to buy four wheels. People who knock on your e-commerce website to get cookies, they want 12 to 24 cookies.
Yeah, and it's really interesting in understanding this. And then we take this knowledge, and then we're working our own separate jobs. And then one day Corey calls and is like, "Let's do this together. Let's start tomorrow." She said, and she
I
wasn't lying.
did. Yeah.
So, and it was that same frantic, like we have this skill set. How do we package it in a way that somebody's willing to sign up and buy from that?
What we have learned over the 10 years of doing our own marketing company is that it's twofold. There's the internet portion of your marketing, and then there's the slight in-person sales of marketing. And with the cookie decorating world, you kind of run into that too. Your more forefront is marketing online. They buy from you. And when they see you, it's after the fact, after they bought the cookies, after you made them. But that's still half the battle. If they don't like your face, they probably won't order again. So customer service is still big in the cookie decorating world, even though you're starting off on an e-commerce based kind of idea.
While I find that the minutia is nuanced, the general concepts are applicable across
Yeah.
any industry. So, selling cars, selling cookies, selling home services, we still have to create trust within the buyer who has the intent to spend money. We have to provide a product that an incentive, and the product has to be so clear, and the pathway to them opening their wallet so shining light on it that they're
Yeah.
willing to exchange it. And then the sale doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop with the exchange of money and product. You have the customer service, the follow up, the repeat customers, and then the social media marketing to acquire that next customer. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
so stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I got started. Now, Corey went into car sales. You did that for quite a few years.
I did. I did. It was difficult. And yeah, the turnover rate. So if you've never heard the word turnover rate, the people who quit, high, high, because it's a commission-based job on a draw. If you've never heard of that, the government or the company has to pay you per terms of the government, but they are not going to make $0 off you. So you would have to pay it back in the next cycle. So you could be negative. A lot of people were like, I made zero, I made less than zero. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
It's so funny. I used to be horrified by the thought of if a job description had 100% commission based pay, I would
Yes.
always swipe away. But as a business owner, you're
You're
100% commission based.
100% commission.
Right.
Every sale dictates if you make money or if you
I
don't.
understand why the business owner wants that because
Yeah.
if you have to get it, you have to go out and get it, right? If that's the only way
Yes.
you're eating tonight, you're going to go get it. As the business owner, we're 100% commission-based sales on our own effort, which is nice because 100% of the effort gets paid back to you versus working for somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, wow, to go to bed at night and be like, wow, it's another day tomorrow, a brand new spanking day. Let's hope something I did yesterday can carry me over to
Uh-huh.
today.
So a lot of the concepts. So then we moved into local. It didn't end up being totally service based. It was product based. It was, kind of referral. Those were referrals. But moving into local service based marketing was such an interesting aspect. Had I gone back in time, I would have niched down by industry. Instead, we niched down by location, which means we
Yes.
were working with service based businesses within our area.
Yeah, think
And
real estate, landscape, HVAC, what is the other ones? Oh,
remodeling.
brick and mortar, ice cream shop. It was it was a vast amount of knowledge that we've learned over the 10 years. I mean, I can
Yeah.
tell you about a queen bee, and when she gets to the end of her age, they boot her
I
out
can
and
tell
then
you about the
they
queen bee
elect.
because the queen bee tried to sting me. Core's still a lot farther away. We had a client who ran a beekeeping supply shop. That was very interesting. But okay, now we've had that's been the last 10 years. But in the 10 years, what worked when we worked with a guy who taught IT classes. Remember
Yes, I
that?
remember him well.
Yeah, still have PTSD in the middle of the night from that guy. So when we started this together, we're working with these local service-based businesses. We could speak on the knowledge that Great Falls is a really, really high cost, high
Yes.
income earners, and Woodbridge, where I lived, was lower cost, right? So that's why we chose that differentiator, is that we'd know how to speak to the hyper location of this very populated area. In
Yes.
hindsight, I think that works well for this. If you guys visit Northern Virginia, it's a very different feeling from many places in America. It's extremely populated. So being able to say that Great Falls and Woodbridge are two different types of businesses allowed us to speak there. Now, if we lived in a more common area, I would have, as a business owner, hired an industry specific marketer.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
So again, back to where location really does matter. Now, moving into that COVID, which is wild to say that
We
2026,
saw a little bit of the
2020.
writing on the wall the first day where no one could leave their house. And I
When
said,
the first day we lost all our brick and mortar clients, the people who had to shut their doors immediately said, "Hey, I can't make money tomorrow, so pause my contract."
yes,
And Corey
yes.
and I were looking at each other and we said, "Oh no!" Like
Well, when you heard the news, they were like, this is going to just be for 2 weeks. And I said, you know what? This doesn't feel like 2 weeks-ish. Like the roads were desolate. And to say that in Northern Virginia is wild.
I could, I'm so sorry. When anyone says something's 45 minutes away, the next question is with or without traffic, because it's
Yeah.
typically probably actually 2 hours away, but with no traffic it was 45. For the first time in my entire time living in Northern Virginia as a driver, things were actually as far away as they said they were.
Yeah, it was just literally the road between you and it. That was all
Yeah.
that light ahead.
And in these really, really populated areas, these like stay-at-home restrictions were very enforced.
Yeah. So during this time, because I felt like I was going to have more time on my hands, never, I guessed right. I said, let me get into this world of cookie decorating because I had gotten pinched by a bug like a year before, and I was just making them for funsies. And I said, let me see what this world is about. And I said, wow, there's a lot of groups on Facebook that just deal with like royal icing issues. Like, hey guys, I'm looking for this cookie cutter. There were some big groups online at that time that it seemed like every cookier was gravitated to.
Big
It was
players. It wasn't like where overnight you can create a group and have 1,000
no,
members. It was
yeah,
like it was really hard to get groups off the ground. And then Corey comes to me, and we're still maintaining the clients that were able to work with, because a lot of them couldn't just shutter. Like they still had to have.
well, your HVAC can still go out
In
during
fact,
COVID or
more
after
people were
COVID.
staying at home and more
Yes,
people were remodeling. So, and more people were landscaping. So, those industries, there was a brief pause where everyone was like, full stop, let's just wait,
yes.
but we had people on retainers. So, we were able to work with those. Some of the people we left out, we let them out of their contracts early because it really did seem like it was not something that was survivable for the business model.
Yeah, yeah, it was wild. That was just a wild time.
It's an anomaly. I hope we never experience again, but I don't believe we'll experience again. But it was an anomaly that most business owners will look back and be like, well, that was that year. That changed.
Yes, yeah,
Either towards a mass influx or towards less. And when I worked in property restoration, we would look at the anomalies of big storms like hurricanes that made landfall, or
yeah.
the year of the derecho, they called it second Christmas because for them, those anomalies really increased sales.
Yeah,
We didn't
it's
really
so
have,
crazy, but you can never plan on those
no,
because a polar vortex, helped
that
all
was
the
also a
car
big,
mechanics.
that was
Yeah,
also third Christmas.
yeah, yeah, because it froze all the pipes. The car mechanics were getting ringed off. People were like, "My car won't start this morning. I don't know what's
Uh-huh,
wrong."
uh-huh.
It's because
Yeah,
it's
so
5 degrees.
these anomalies. So looking back, COVID is it, and it was also a massive, massive boom for the cottage bakery industry
Oh,
because we're
because you were
stuck at
locked
home.
in. Yeah.
We're literally locked in. We're also bored. And then and what people don't factor in, there was a lot more money to spend.
Yes.
The perfect
Yes.
concoction for I'm going to start a new hobby.
Yeah, driving your kid to school, you're no longer driving them. You're saving on the gas money. They can wake up no new school clothes. They can just roll out of their jammies and log on to school.
Right. So they're upstairs and you're in the kitchen, you're starting this. So Corey was right there with it. She had been tinkering with it, but really dug into the concept there. I know because I ate all the cookies she was making
Yes. Yeah, you
because
are.
yes, I went skydiving and they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
So with that, Corey said, hey, it's very interesting in these groups for sugar cookie bakers. The concepts that we implement with these clients that we have, they're almost going in the opposite direction. You should be charging the lowest, you should find the lowest person in your market and charge $1 or less.
Yeah. And
With no,
I tested the theory, even though we'd been in sales and marketing for so long. I was like, well, sugar cookies must be new. Let me charge, I think I did $20 a dozen for my like second order I've ever done. I put bows at the top, got a very nice cake box, which was expensive.
yeah,
I
you used to have real
delivered
big boxes when you first got
giant
there.
and
Yeah.
I delivered it. I didn't even think about charging for delivery, but she ended up being 35 minutes away. And when I put that box on her stoop, I said, I didn't like this experience at all.
Right. Charity work, really.
Yes.
But Corey said, okay, well, there has to be more, right? There's people that are doing this full time. There's bakeries, there's cottage bakeries. So we really kind of, she walked in, it was October. And she was like, hey, do you like want to do the same? Like, we have nothing to do. We lost half of our clients are in a waiting pattern. Do you want to teach these bakers exactly what we use to implement for our clients? Now, our clients, we're doing the work for them, but I can tell you how to do the exact same thing I do.
Yeah, it would just take you longer and you have the time, so why not learn a little photography,
So
you
that was
know?
I think it was October 21st, 2020. We started the Facebook group. Corey, we're sitting looking at each other essentially in my tiny office. And I say, hey, join so I can make you an admin.
Yeah.
So we're, sitting there and we're like, hey, how can we attract people? The same grassroots efforts. You go to other groups and people are asking like, how do I price this? What do I sell this for? And we're like, hey, we actually talk about this in the sugar cookie market group. We're just getting started.
What's so funny is we were such a disruptor of the normal conversation going around where it says just charge less than the person next to you so you can get more orders that people started off not liking me and Heather because we were like, no, you can't just charge on a feeling. It has to be on a math problem. So it honestly just disrupting it that way. People are like, oh, these two weird twins. This is brought more people to the group because people are like, what? Huh?
Dissension is
No.
free marketing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so since 2020, the first year, I think we had 20,000 members and then 30, 40, 50. So now at 50,000, we're actually been actually cutting members so we can have that quality thing. In just the 10 years in marketing and in just the almost 6 years of sugar cookies, the marketing landscape specifically because of AI has shifted so greatly. But even if you took AI out of it, vertical video was the thing before that that really shifted marketing. Then the algorithmic instead of chronological order of things shifted marketing. So it's easy to point at the next big bad change and call it the bad, big bad AI,
Yeah.
whatever one you use.
Yeah.
But there was always something preceding it. When I first got started, when I worked in the property restoration in my 20s, buying followers was a great idea
Oh, it's
because there was no
literally,
algorithm. So chronologically, it was just social proof that this
yeah.
post that I definitely will see because I definitely posted it today. Doesn't matter who necessarily is following the page as long as the couple that I
Yeah.
need are seeing it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So you actually bought followers to like establish a page. And then you would ask people, friends and family, but your stuff, because not every business back in the day was on social media. So if you were on social media, it was the right for the picking. Your stuff was being shown. You were getting so much engagement. I could literally fart out an idea and it would get like 50 likes. And I said, this is great. This is amazing.
Missing those days, missing those days. To acquire a lot of the customers back then, it was easy to find a service-based business without a website. Now I think it's harder to
Yeah.
find a business without a website. So much so that back maybe 7 years ago, Google would automatically generate a website for you if you had a Google business listing, which could have been created by somebody who wasn't you.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild,
We've been
wild
in marketing
work.
so long, they've actually gone and deleted those websites. And because so many people have created their own. So now the customer acquisition that worked the 10 years ago, we started this, what doesn't apply today? Now it's reach, algorithm, and conversions, right?
Yeah.
So traffic is not all built equally. And now that we have AEO, the AI generators, Gemini, answering your question in a chat box before you even get to the website, the shift in SEO has gone there as well. As of last week, Claude is now putting a signature on copy written by AI, which should affect how the website is ranked in search engines, which affects how the AI pulls from its questions, right? So you can see that this constant shift, while it is so frustrating and disruptive, forces our hands to be better at what we offer.
Yeah.
Or
Just an aside, Heather, did you see this website had made 62,000 pages?
do you know what the website is? HubSpot, a
But it was
website on
all
SEO and marketing.
had AI content on there. So it was ranking so high, and then Google does this update and it just tanks.
They lost, I think they lost over 80% of their traffic, but the traffic was low quality anyways. So they
Sure.
were
Yeah.
making thin pages. Again, these are all buzzwords from
Yeah.
5 years ago, but it's fascinating to see that now quality over quantity, whereas in websites, it's always been quantity over quality. Err on the side of a little bit of quality, but
Yeah.
quantity. And HubSpot turned out had been for the last 5 or 6 years, been making HubSpot is a place where you get marketing certifications as a CRM software, which is their product.
Their main, yeah.
But one of they're like the website is like famous quotes by famous people. Like that was
Yeah,
some
they
of
were
the
doing
content.
whatever they could, yeah, to and it worked for a long time. And then Google catches on and says, we don't like that. And
Yeah.
these updates of these algorithms. So you've had Facebook updates, you have had Google updates.
Yelp used
Um,
to be one of the biggest websites in terms
yeah,
of lead generation. And I don't know if anyone remembers this, but when I was 20 years old, it was Angie's List.
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm so sorry. When I went to tile and grout class, the guy was like, "Do you know why Angie's List is called Angie's now?" No. Well, they had someone who was a contractor. They did not update the website to say that the license had expired. The contractor came and destroyed someone's house, and I think it might have led to like loss of life. But Angie's List got named in the lawsuit because they are the ones who said the license was still
Yeah.
active.
Now it's so funny when I see a truck drive by and it's like Angie's List approved 2017. Like I was like, wow, it's archaic. That sticker, honestly, I would take it off.
So to kind of add proof in the pudding of where we've come and what we've experienced and I've been in marketing and sales and this e-commerce thing and now this cookie concept of it. Uh, this is ever changing. And in the horrifying sounds and faces we're making, it is the biggest boon to you if you're just getting started because we can all learn that next phase together because the phases will keep shifting.
Yes, yeah. If you're just starting out now, you have not gotten into a routine. You've not gotten into a rut. You've not been saying, I only post cookie photos because I don't want to learn how to make videos. If you are open to growing your business and you're opening to the shifts of what social media is, what's the flavor of the day, what the algorithms want, you can run to the top. The
You're able to
world
make
is
up a
your
ton
oyster.
of ground from the well-established bake.
Yeah.
There's some of these bakers that have like everyone when I say the name, Hanellas.
Yeah, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but I think it is.
And what's some other what you know what I'm talking Sweet Amps.
Sweet Amps is one,
These
yeah.
people, they haven't been in the game. They started the game, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
made the
they
game.
right. These people, if it was time in the market is how you acquire sales, then we'd never be able to touch them. They've outdated us for their, in the terms of like if you wanted market share from them. But
Oh yeah,
because of this shifting landscape, you're able to cut this line as long as you're able to roll with the punches, as long as the red tape isn't so sticky that you refuse to change, you're able to get a massive following in a short amount of time.
yeah, and now it's not just like, okay, I created social profiles. Now let me sit and wait. It's your personality is now the forefront of your marketing. So if you're likable, you can cut the line just because people either like your message, your goals, or they like you, which is so crazy because that was not around. It used to be like everything had to be so pristine. So the website copy had to be like, therefore thou shalt, I will change your HVAC filter 4 times a year. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, I'll go with them. They sound, credible. Now it's like, I want the small town guy getting in front of his camera and he's like, I even saw a
Trust.
TikTok. And he's like, yeah, don't buy these two filters. They choke your unit. You want to buy this filter. If you hold it in front of your face, you can breathe in front of it. Your unit needs to breathe. And I said, I'd hire him to change my filter.
Yeah, that's a great point. And with the advent of more of these discoverability channels like TikTok, instead of just selling cookies, you could start selling that recipe. You could start selling this technique, this little
Yeah.
class on the side. So now the income generators have also opened us to more passivity, right? So passive income generation, which means you don't have to be standing there rendering services like you would in the kitchen. You could have
Yeah.
something selling overnight as a supplemental thing. And then you have people who are like, I'm content creating. I'm getting paid
Yeah,
per
like
view.
they're 100% content, make the most intricate cookies you've ever seen in your entire life. And then they're like, actually, I don't sell cookies. You can either buy this recipe, I make this course, or I get paid from the Creator Rewards program on Meta or TikTok or
What
YouTube.
what of a diversification of the ability to generate income, and then you could go all in. I was reading an article on AI is making marketing a little bit more androgynous because there's not a lot of effort to generate that flyer versus generating that photo versus generating now it can generate videos. So now they've moved into effortful marketing, which I actually think would be a good aspect for some of you cookiers to do, meaning that Coach, the purse store, is hiring a cookie baker to decorate a set to show Coach still cares about the effort it goes into in their marketing. It must translate to the thing. And now you've seen it, that one baker that did the Liberty.
Yes, yes.
Right. So the why would an insurance company hire a baker? Well, it's trying to prove that we care so much. Look at the effort we put in just our marketing, right? So this kind of correlation in the terms of AI is a click away to generate something. This is not a click away.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's been so entertaining, and you're riding the high of something new. The thing that I worry about in a new baker, if you're just tuning in, you're going to become eventually a not new baker, and it's up to you to be like, no, I'm putting my foot in the sand. I'm not moving forward. You can't tell me to try something new. I like what I like, and I don't want to change. You'll be left behind. And if you're like, hey, I like my clients that I get.
Great.
I don't have new
That's your business
competition.
model. And that is
Totally
it
fine.
is a business model that works for you.
Yeah, what I see happens is feet in the mud, don't want to change, and a new baker starts, which we've all been new, so we can't hate on them. We've all been there once, and maybe they have a messaging behind their, they're baking so they can afford to adopt a child. People love, to support someone with such a goal. And then they're willing to get in front of the video and be vulnerable. They're not stuck behind a camera with a nice edited photo. Talking to myself here, they're willing to be vulnerable, and they can take the market share from you that you
Yeah.
thought you had in a chokehold.
It's funny in this area, there's a lot of houses, there's a lot of real estate agents, especially with the 2008. Everybody you knew in this area was like, I'm a real
Yes,
estate
yes,
agent overnight. So you have these seasoned realtors, they've been around for a long time and they've learned to hate their clients as one would when you got all the frustrating, the tire kickers, this crazy thing happened, this
yes.
person sued me. Then you have this guy, and he's so funny. He just got on the camera and he started recording himself, and he just leaps and bounds out markets these people because he's not willing to just bare his soul. He goes everywhere they open a new thing, and he was like, "Hey, here's what's coming,"
Yeah.
and it's just because he's so willing to put himself in front of the camera that he's able to cut the line. And I think he's younger than us, Chris.
That's- yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I think he's younger than us. Whereas these real estate agents who said, "But I've been in the market for so long," would be punching the air because they don't want to get in front of the camera, and technology is so hard. And I agree. I'm standing there trying to turn on the DJI pocket like I just learned
It's
how to
yeah,
walk.
like a real estate agent, it's like you get those postcards in the mail, and now it's like junk mail, you toss them. But like that was big for real estate agents for such a long time. And then you have people like couldn't even find this one lady's like Facebook page. She didn't have one, and then
Fascinating, fascinating,
yeah,
almost fascinating not to have one in this day and age.
yeah. Or you find it and it hasn't been posted to since 2024. And you're like, do you care about your business?
Yeah, I always think about that where it's like, oh, it's a little turn. Like, come on. Like if you're
Yeah.
marketing my house, I need you to market yourself.
But
Back to the story. Corey got married. Corey's divorced. She had a son with her first husband. We make a lot of jokes about it, so you almost have to know the origin story. Corey got married when she was what, 19?
yes.
And that's why I'm single, because I watched that and said, absolutely not.
Oh, Heather's been trying to catch up. They just haven't proposed.
Corey, so
Don't worry about it.
Corey got married at 19, had her son at 20,
21,
21. So now her son is 16. He was watching
16,
my house
yes.
last week. So she ends up getting remarried. She lives in Northern Virginia still. Her husband's a police officer, and her son is my professional cat watcher. He loves the
Yes.
cats.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I have never been married, no kids. But I say basically, Arch, we're just sharing them between us.
People always lump me and you together anyways. You can be as extra
Right,
mom.
right. And I recently moved to West Virginia. It is over the state line, but even just that distance, it is a whole different economic structure out here.
Hmm. Hmm.
So whereas like I was talking to my next door neighbors, they own a Subway in not even Northern Virginia, a place that people argue is not Northern Virginia, kind of close to where Corey lives. Just his lease per month is $6,000. Whereas I
Yeah.
was talking to him about the leases here, and he's like half price. So it is location is so specific to how you charge, and that's why we were talking about before the podcast. The question is, what would you charge for this? Well, where do you live, and how much do people make, and what's that economy there? It's so
Yeah.
specific. So now, fast forward to today, we focus a lot on the cookie stuff. We've grown. The podcast is on the 274th episode, which is fascinatingly horrifying to watch your days pass in podcast order.
I always know when it's a Tuesday.
It's always a Tuesday. We believe in consistency, and we've also back in 2021 we launched the Cookie College on a hope and a prayer. It was so funny. Cookie Con is this. I think Cookie Con is a phenomenon. Like I love telling strangers about it. Like, do you know there's a convention where sugar cookie bakers get together once a year? And everyone's like, no way. And I was like, with every industry, there's that. I saw on TikTok, convention for license plate fan hobbyists.
Oh, that's
There's something for
hilarious.
everybody. And the guy's walking through the parking lot. He's like, you don't realize how rare these plates are, but they just look normal to me. Same with this, so in 2021, Corey shot off an email to Mike and Karen, and included a $5 gift card if they just read it. Like they keep the Starbucks gift card, or it was 20 bucks or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were like, but shooting a shot, would you ever be open to letting us speak? And he was like, we actually had a core instructor just drop out. I know it is a quick turnaround time, but would you guys be willing to come down to Orlando and speak as a core instructor and the closing speaker, which is a wild experience. So Quinn and I load up into the car. We launched the Cookie College the day before. She's on her computer with a hotspot while we drive down to teach. It was photography in terms of creating that photo that, stops the scroll, which
Yeah, it
now,
was
if I had to go back today, I would say how to create the video that stops.
when we formed Sugar Cookie Marketing, it was just a free place to learn marketing techniques. But people had asked, like, what if we want a little bit more? What if we want to peek inside the twins' minds? What you do for your clients actually, not this surface level stuff, which the surface level stuff is good. You need to know the surface level stuff. But people are like, I want to make a newsletter and I want to find out how I can scrub an email news list so it can be better for me. I can get more conversions out of it. And that's what formed the Cookie College was people asking for it.
Kind of they say, like, I get the thanks so much for the long form post, but like, let's do a screen share and walk through it step by
Yeah.
step. So that was back in 2021. And the college itself has gone through many iterations. It'll, much like your marketing, it'll never be stagnant. It always has to be improved. I was saying to Corey, of course, I made a Facebook profile when I was 18 or 17 or whatever. And it was weird. And it had these thing called posters. I don't know if you guys remember them. It was essentially meme culture before memes were out. You could send somebody a poster and they could pin it to the profile. My profile had so many posters on it. It was like it was a never ending scroll.
I think I was busy having a child during this
You could have
time.
been. I had nothing to do, so I
I
was just doing
believe it.
that. But as Facebook went through these changes, these shifts, and I was like, no, don't take away my posters, but it made a better user experience. I know it went kicking and screaming, but what Facebook is today, I can't fathom that it's been around for this many decades at this point,
Yeah.
and it's still a really vital piece of culture. And
Because it's changed. It
yes,
didn't lock in and say we'll never change MySpace. It said we're going to change because the end user changes and we need to change with them. Every update that Facebook has had, me and Heather have gone kicking and screaming, and then we're like, Mom, that wasn't so bad. I kind of like it.
except for the nickname ones, which they've just rolled back. So nicknames are now able to be disabled. I get why they're doing it. Something's going on with Google and Facebook where a lot of Facebook group posts are getting indexed in Google, which is a huge traffic driver. In
Yeah.
fact, it's AI, Google's Gemini is pulling from Facebook posts that are indexed in Google search now from public facing groups.
Yeah, what's so funny if you typed in something to Google search, so just the search bar, you type in something, Google would just pull from websites that are on Google. Now that AI has kind of taken over, it's searching like the crevices of the internet. So if I'm like, is this restaurant in Virginia Beach good or not? And does it serve lobster tail? it's going absolutely every chance, like
It's
every
reading
corner of the
reviews, it's
internet
summarizing.
to find that answer so I can be a happy Google searcher in the end. And that's why it's pulling from social media now.
So, right, it's a great example. And if it wasn't AI, it would be vertical video. If it wasn't vertical video, it would be the demolition of Yelp, right? Where there's always a shift in the market. But this one in AI, you're seeing the baker who's like, I don't like this, so I'm going to make my entire business personality anti-AI. And you're going to be able to cut the line in front of them. And I know people are like, no, I don't like what you're about to say. I'm only telling you the truth, even if it hurts. Is the new baker is able to cut the line when they know how to use AI as a tool correctly, right? So there's the using AI as a tool incorrectly, which you're seeing, which is a lot of the flyers. You're seeing a
Yes.
lot of the copy. And now Claude is putting the watermark within the copy. What that signals to me is that it'll stop being indexed. AI, the dead internet theory, it's just complex concept
Yeah.
is that AI shouldn't be pulling from itself, right? Because there's no logic. We're just getting regurgitated.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it's right. So fact check it. Like,
Yeah.
so what happens is the baker that is like, hey, I'm going to make a splash in my market and I'm going to use the tools in an effective way while still having my personality lead with this new vertical video, you'll be able to just eat up the market share. And as your skills increase and as your production numbers, your production time decreases, you'll just be a massive force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, you can't, and that's why it's cool for me to live in such a populated area because there's so many cookiers around here. So we're sharpening each other. We're like the top of the marketing. You know, people are making the videos, people are doing that. I don't get the pleasure of living in a small town where I'm the only baker. I could just imagine that would be just cream of the crop. I don't know, make a post and someone buys what? Now I'm having to become like the guess this cutter shape so I can get more comments, so I can end up in more feeds. So when I post my pre-sale, it goes out farther.
Yeah, now you got to do an email capture within that. It triggers a list of emails that onboard people that get them warmed up to making the product purchase over
Yeah.
here. And then once they make the product purchase, how do we stay within their funnel? Oh, we got to add them to a CRM. So, like I always say, Corey and I always are like, hate it when somebody launches a competing product, but we're like, but the market just got better. The consumer wins, and we have to work harder, which is better for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we've never been able to get off the gas pedal of marketing since
I don't think you'd want
2017.
to. We always said to our the service-based business clients, if something goes up, something else must come down. There's no, I got into the first position on Google, so now I don't have to try. I've gotten to the first position in Google, so what else do I need to do to stay here?
Yeah, how do I stay here? Not
Right.
like, all right, guys, we can coast, we've made it.
Right.
No,
There's only
if
one
you're
first
not
spot.
trying, someone else is trying.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why marketing is so fascinating, and it's never stagnant. I assume a lot of industries are very stressful. Marketing is trying to get in both the minds of something that's digital and the mind of the end user, but because the digital thing, the algorithm's always trying to see what the consumer wants.
Yes.
Well, you can see people, my Facebook used to just be my friends and now it's ads. Well, that's how the business model is functions off of advertisement. So it needs to show you the ads, just enough that it makes the most money, but not too much as to you not see your friends anymore.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They're also on their own. Even your social media has to market correctly.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, people will get off it talking about you, Yelp, because
Yeah.
you nickel and dime them so much that they're like, I don't find value here. So it's everyone is always trying to get 1% better. And when everything's trying to get 1% better, the end user, you on social media, your customers finding you always get to win.
Right. Or someone outmarks their shortcomings. I ordered from AliExpress yesterday for the first time in my whole entire life.
I've never ordered from there.
Right. And so I was like, with the cost was so, I was just getting rug tufting cloth. I want to see what the
Oh,
quality
okay.
was. I was like, the quality, I mean, the price is so incredibly low that the likelihood of the quality being low is very high. And the ability for me to get a refund is next to zero because it's being shipped and the shipping costs are great. But I'm motivated by low price. If this doesn't arrive on time, I'm now motivated by higher price. The higher price buys the better cloth. It
By
just
quality. Yeah.
so, the other company was like Tough the World or something. I was looking at buying this cloth and they were like, but I had the AI, I said breakdown because everyone was using across countries was using different measurements of the fabric and different
Yeah.
pricing models. But it was like, yeah, the Tough the World will get here by Friday and they have a great reputation. The
Yeah. Great reputation.
AliExpress thing, not a clue if you'll get it. You may have a tariff fee, but we'll see if we can see where that is. And it will take a month to get to you. So you can
Yeah.
see that just do I want to be the lowest price baker, which I don't want to dog on them. There's an economies of scale thing that can definitely be a strategy. Or do I want to be the highest price baker where I don't get every lead, but I don't have to work as hard per lead? Which one is there, you know?
Yeah, and you get the great thing about being a business owner is you get to choose which one you want to be, which one is more valuable to you.
And
There's
you get
no
to change. You get to
Yeah, it's not
change.
it's not pun intended a cookie cutter, one size fits all.
Yeah, it's not. So back to Corey and me, on when I'm not doing marketing and sales, we have two other sisters and my parents, they all still live in Northern Virginia. I'm the only one in West Virginia, which I like to call Best Virginia. I'm just kidding. I didn't realize people in West Virginia didn't like Northern Virginia. But
You'll change over time to be like, we're better than
I
you.
had no idea. I was like, yeah, we don't like them either. Yeah, get rid of them, Northern Virginians. On Saturdays, we typically meet up at my mom's house. We're huge fans of chips and salsa and Diet Coke. We do that for a couple hours, exchange whatever stories, probably pointless stories, ask dumb questions. Like if you guys woke up tomorrow and you were broccoli, what salad would you be in?
Yeah, we played a numbers game this past one where you had to guess someone's number, and
Yeah,
it
you had to put
it,
a number in your head.
it
And if
was
you guys seen The
horrendous.
Office, it was like that version, but numerical. And like we were like three. So you'd be like, has Corey married this many men? No. So we knew it would be like two or less.
Less than
Right.
three.
But my mom was like, is it number 21? We're like, that's not, you're not getting it. It has to be kind of funny. It was so stressful. We banned the game. But when I'm not doing marketing and sales, I've started this rug tufting thing because everyone said I had no hobby, but I'm really doing a lot of car stuff. I don't know why. It's always been a hobby of mine, cars and motorcycles, and snowboarding during the winter, I guess would be the things. I used to be into motorcycles, but man, it's so dangerous.
I'm glad you got out of the motorcycles. Was it cool? Sure, but like, is having an arm cool? Yeah, no.
Yeah, up in Detroit, the gentleman I met, he had been in such a traumatic accident. He was supposed to die, but he didn't die. He got in a head-on collision with another motorcycle. I think they say he thinks he flew through the air twice. It actually landed on his feet, which caused him to
It's
lose his ankles. Right.
crazy.
Right. It was just such a traumatic, but behind him was a Navy medic. And the Navy medic knew exactly which places to, what do you call it? Tourniquet?
Oh, cauterize,
Well, no, he was just tying the guy
tourniquet,
up before yeah.
amputate. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. But he was alive. And I was like, the fact you're even walking, he couldn't wiggle his toes. They did reattach everything, but
Oh, wow.
fascinating.
Heather
Wait,
also loves listening to audiobooks
huge,
and
massive
audiobooks.
fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was speaking of like clarity and stuff. Somebody had texted in on the podcast last week, but Ashley had also been a huge fan of Story Brand. So I teed it up on the drive back and I've been really listening to and trying to understand clarity in terms of marketing. And Corey and I are like, yeah, over time in a market, you can get blurry, you can get fuzzy, your messaging it didn't transfer from when there was no vertical video to when there's vertical video and
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
reassessing that and breaking it back down to what does the client want? The client is always the hero. So I always say when the baker starts hating their client, you just open the door for that competitor to squeak in on there.
Yeah, because you're now villainizing the clients, and I see the bakers, they get angry at them, they do a big old post, how dare you? And I'm like, wow, it's so easy, and I find myself get upset with clients. It's not like me and Heather are like, coming on high. No, we've had our fair share, but when you start hating your clients and everyone's a nuisance that comes to you, and I can't believe they didn't just fill out the form and they're just happy. Why do you have a question? You are allowing someone who is getting their first order ever, who's willing to accommodate a little extra, to take some market share from you. Because when you build insane boundaries, and we are big fans of business boundaries, but when the boundaries become so much, where
When the
it's like,
boundaries become bossy, we've got a problem.
do you even want to bake?
Right.
Do you
Do you
want
even
to
like these people?
sell?
So, yeah, and really this podcast comes from that story brand where it's like we want to guide the hero, you, the baker, to avoid the pitfalls that not only we've experienced, but we've watched 6 years of other bakers experiencing so that you don't have to fall into the Detroit pothole to realize that you didn't want to drive over that road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When I was trying to get trying to get the car sales job, I'm not sure there was the effort of trying. I had to meet
Are you
with the
breathing? You
general.
got it.
Yeah, you're breathing.
Do you have
I know
no
it's
moral standards? You're in.
you're in. I had to meet with the general manager and he gave me what they called role playing. So he gave me a scenario and he says, now sell me a car. So this made up scenario, I was like, well, I've read the rule books and according to the rule books, here's XYZ that we could do to make the car sales. And he says, I appreciate that you've read the rule books, but if you came to me and you asked, I would let you do XYZ. That's bending the rule book just ever so slightly to benefit the client. That would end not only in a sale, but someone who is a big fan of the brand now. And that was eye-opening for me because yes, the boundaries are there for to protect us, but they're also something that we can wiggle ever so slightly to get big fans of our brand that can turn into your number one sales driver when you find the right person.
Yeah, I agree. When Corey's not cooking, she's going to Olive Garden. What are your
Well, I
hobbies?
found a fantastic recipe yesterday that my husband ordered, but I love watching a show. I've
Oh
watched
yeah. I'm sorry.
Frasier.
Corey will be binging something, or she'll come. My mom and my little sister and Corey will be like, "Did you get anything good this week? What did you like it? Did you skip over this part? But definitely watch this part." Like I can clock out. I grab my phone. I'm not a big TV watcher, but these three are like, "That's so good," and this and that and the other. I'm like, "Did you guys watch?
Unfortunately, we've gotten
You guys
like
watch
to the,
Forensic
the the
Files?"
corner of like,
Now they're
we've
into
watched all the good
movies from the
ones.
90s.
I've rewatched Frasier. I don't know why I love that show. I don't like Cheers, but I do like Frasier.
We
I've
all have a comfort
rewatched it.
show. We all have a comfort show.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have Gilmore Girls. I finally finished it for the first time. I'm 37 years old and I
You
finished
really
it.
liked it, I think.
I thought it was really good. I actually like to learn about the show. That lady that is Lorelai, the main character, has a photographic memory. She only looked at the script right before they went on, but they were not allowed to miss a word. So
Oh.
she was able to view the script, talk that fast
Um,
without actually missing anything.
you now you're in that, like, sometimes I'll wake up and I'll get a Snapchat and Corey be like, "Did you know that Fraser had a Dodge Viper that he totaled in 1971?" I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, no way. Corey's like, yeah, these little I know you're in bed. Be like, give me some facts about
yeah,
this.
let me I said, oh yeah, there was two Fraser dogs. One was his son, and the other one was the son of the son, and they all played
Corey's
the
like, do you
same
know what the
year.
dog's rate was per
$10,000.
So yeah, that's Corey's hobby. She also has her son, that kid is well taken care of.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Thank you.
They got
I
an
was,
altercation because he was grabbing on her door handle, and she was like, "Don't grab on my door handle." He's like, and this is a rite of passage. We all do this. He was like, "I can't wait to have my own car. I'll never touch a door handle again." And Corey's
and
like, "Never. I can
I
make sure you
said,
don't touch it now."
no worries, you don't have to touch it now, big boy. And that did not.
Corey and her husband is a giant, 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 giant man. In fact, because he's like what 6'5",
Yeah.
broad shouldered police officer. The last guy you'd want to see pulling you over. He is lifts so heavy at the gym. She was telling me he was in a bad mood. Why is he in a bad mood? Well, he pulled a muscle. How does he pull a muscle? He's at the gym all the time. No, he loaded up all the weights in the squat rack, all the weights, but the squat rack had shifted over the years of use. He decides to move the squat rack back fully weighted and ends up pulling a muscle in his back because it was not only a massive amount of weight, it was also now the squat rack.
I said, way to be the hero. It cost you your back there, buddy.
No, that's your hobbies. What else would you describe as your hobby? You got into rock
Uh,
painting. I don't know why I'm stuck on that
no,
hobby.
I'm over the rock painting. I tried the rock painting. I liked it for what it was. That one's yeah, I was a rock painter for like 1 year and I retired. I gave away the stuff to another new rock
Corey
painter.
got me an art book.
I got you in our book. Heather is more artistic. If you put me and Heather side by side, Heather is the more artistic one.
I don't believe so.
Cookies
I
is the
believe I
only
can
thing I got.
copy real well. I think the cookie. I'm so sorry. I'm suffering with this rug tufting thing. I understand it now. I get it. I'm trying to do lettering. Why is it so
Yes.
hard?
Yeah.
And you really can't fight your tools. I've always been a proponent of like, don't fight your gear. There's a tool out there that love to take your money and eat it alive, and it makes it
Yes.
a little bit easier.
That was Heather and all her snowboarding. She never fought one gear. She just got the nicest gear you could
I
gear.
had an ex-boyfriend. If you guys want my dating history, I was with his man for 10 years. From when I was 22, I was 30. He was 10 years older than me. So by the time I left, he was 40. It was easy to do the math because he was always 10 years older.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't think a 20-year-old should be dating a 30-year-old. Hindsight 2020. This man spent money
Hindsight
like he
2030.
Look at this. Good. This man spent money. Like at one point towards the end of the relationship, it was a tumultuous relationship. I didn't enjoy it at all. But I had to say, like, dude, I can't afford to keep up with this. He was just, but instead of buying, so I bought one snowboard, he'd buy three, one for powder. I'm sorry, we live on the East Coast, which they call the Ice Coast. There's no powder here, but no, we
Yeah.
got to go to Vail and we got to go take this class. We got to go. With him, I even thought about it when we broke up. I was like, I wonder if I'm a really boring person and he was just making me do. And
That's
just
what I first like entered Heather's life with this guy. I said, wow, they're weekend warriors. They will do some fun thing every single weekend. Heather is out about a woman about town, Bob Madigan. Heather is just a salt of the earth, learning, putting herself
yeah,
out there.
we were doing it. It would be like, I want you guys to make up a thing. We probably took the class. I did paramotoring, paragliding, glider flights, which is engineless planes. We did skydiving, jumping out by ourselves and taking the classes to do that. We did that iFly thing, which turns out there's a costly certification you get into. We got into planes and it just one. And then we got in, obviously cars was the thing, the motorcycles. But any class you could take, anything where your cortisol level increase.
Yeah.
And then add him. I increased my cortisol level anyways. We did it.
Yeah, I just thought Heather was just like, wow. But I do now realize Heather's not wow. He was,
I am
he was,
unwowed.
he was
I
wowing
found
her.
my little cubby hobbies and I just sat here nicely. This is
I've
making my
always been
stuff.
a homebody. I think I was big into marathons for a bit. I
I'm
did
so
those
sorry.
tough,
I did drive you to a couple marathons.
yeah, tough mudder things, Spartan races.
You did do that. You
That was
did.
difficult. I did a lot of weightlifting for a long time. I was big into the
Corey did have
weightlifting
a six
world.
pack and it wasn't, I'm not just embellishing. It was
It
all
was
the
big.
six of them
All
back
six
together.
packs were packed in there.
Yeah.
Then I got into, those like kettlebell certifications, did a strongman type thing where you did a lifting competition.
You
And then I
really
found Heather and
did.
I said, let's start a business together and stress ourselves out and then let our hair fall out together.
Yes. Just, yeah, hand me that cookie without drugs.
Yeah.
So yeah, Corey's been really into fitness, which is impressive because you've always been in much better shape than I have, and you've had a son, which I've always been envious of because that just means I'm lazy. No, why? What are you gonna
I
do?
think I found the gym when my first marriage was coming to an abrupt end, and it was a place that I de-stressed. So my brain correlated going to the gym as a de-stressor, and I think I just had a good hook to there versus like saying going to lose weight. Now I was going to de-stress. So it would make me so tired at the end of the night. Instead of arguing, I just went to bed. So I was like, oh, it's
Oh,
great.
I always say like, and I hate even, I think it's disrespectful to myself. I'm more of the ideas guy and Corey's the locomotive. Like Corey will run it till the train tracks end, and it may not be in the right direction. There may be explosion at the end, but she got there for sure. And on my side, I'm like, hey, what if we think about this differently? What if we try this? What if we set off your locomotive in this direction a little bit? So we always said that it's one person's brain, but put into two persons' bodies, only half each. So we
Yeah, we're
have
not
to.
two times as smart. We're one times as smart, but we
We're
have
half
four
as smart.
arms.
We have to be full.
We have
Yeah.
four arms, so we're able to do it a little quicker.
Yeah, so a lot of the things I say best learned by experience, experience with the right instructors, right? So you could jump out of a plane with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing and you got a problem. You can jump out of the plane with people that are really good at what they're doing and you're going to learn something. And I feel like kind of understanding who we are gives you kind of the backstory of why we do what we do. I'm now single, so I do tend to just work and then I'd have the car thing for fun and this rug tufting thing I cry myself to sleep with. But like that, I'm able to kind of sit and focus on that. I do listen to the audiobooks. I love the concept of psychology as it relates to human behavior. Okay, you're hungry, but wow, what makes you choose that burger over that piece of chicken?
Yeah. Yeah. When there's so many burgers to choose from, every burger joint has a greatest burger, and they're like, this is the best burger you'll ever have. Why do you choose one over the other? And
I,
that,
I, I always come back to the thought that the smartest scientist in that room still goes to the comedy show. We still have the humanity. We want to laugh. We want to be entertained. We
yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
fed. We want to be loved. Like all these emotions come back, and that encompasses marketing. You can have the best of everything, but if you can't make people feel or want or need or solve, you still can't make the sale.
Yeah. And that's probably the most entertaining part because everyone is built differently. So do you get them on price? Do you get them on quality? Do you get them on customer service, location, ease of access? things like that. And it's
And
so entertaining which one works the best. And that's your job as a business owner to find which one to focus on or which two to focus on and build your brand around those two because that will make or break you.
it will. We have an older sister, and I always think that she's actually the target client of a lot of bakers. She doesn't shop the sales. She pays full price. She likes West Elm.
Yeah.
She loves anthropology. Whereas you got me and Corey who love Ross. I love hunting and pecking. Black Friday, you'll find us there the whole day.
Yeah.
And then, so I always say, like, how can I get my sister will buy cookies from Corey to give to her mother-in-law.
Yes.
She'll pay full price. She'll never ask for the discount. Like, she's the ideal client. She'll refer you.
She'll refer her thing that I've found is when she wants something, it's instantaneous. So she doesn't want to get on a wait list. She doesn't want to fill out the form and be told no. When she wants something now, but
And
she's
she'll
willing
pay
to
it.
pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have somebody like my little sister who lives with my parents. She has no rent cost. And some days she'll be a spendy and some days she'll be the cheapest person you ever met.
Yeah, you can tell what her brain is thinking. Like, am I going to live here forever or am I going to live here till
Uh-huh.
tomorrow?
Yeah. The other day she's like, what if I learn Coast Fire and then I go work at Target? Because I really feel like I'd like working at Target. I was like, dude, do
But
it.
then she met a man and moved out the next week. So,
2 weeks. Yeah. Signed a lease, an 18-month lease, and moved out of my parents' house overnight. And he ended things the third week. But
yeah,
she stayed there. She did it. She moved back in with my parents every weekend and moved back out on Sunday nights.
I know. But she said it was the best year ever.
Yeah,
So,
she really did like it.
yeah, she
18 months.
enjoyed it. You got the best of both worlds minus the insane rent that that place was.
She
But it
had
was
gone to a brand new
brand new.
build apartment complex in the center of Fairfax City.
Yeah.
So a single bedroom. It was just above a studio because it did have a door to the bedroom. Was 2,400 a month
Yeah.
for 18 months. So she had signed the longest lease to get the lowest rate of a
Yeah.
one bedroom apartment in Fairfax.
But you live and you learn.
You live in
Yeah.
your own. And so I'd like to say that coming back to what this is about is this is a little bit about us, Heather and Corey, and we have lived and we have learned in this specific niche that I think we can tell you, the new baker, a lot of, hey, this is what it was, this is what it's going to, and here's the pitfalls in between the way, so you don't trip over that. Yes, you'll have to be boots on the ground. You'll have to learn it, but there's able to come to this space where you're like, hey guys, you guys have done this. I know it's shifted how it looks. What can we do here?
Yeah. 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 Well, ad nauseum, me and Heather could talk about ourselves for the next 37 years. That's how much content we have.
There's not a
But
lot to go on there.
moving on, it was good. Heather said we haven't touched base with who we are. If someone just finds this, they're like, who are these two knuckleheads? I'm like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, don't worry. The next one's going to be about pricing, so brace your best.
Yeah. We thought we'd warm you up a little bit.
Yeah, before we sit you down and give you the talking to. Yeah, we're back in this series of not like necessarily an entirely new concept, but the newer bakers. So when people join the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, they have to answer 3 questions. The final
Yeah.
is, what do you want to learn here? And so many people say, I feel overwhelmed. There's so much to learn. And they're not
Yes.
wrong. But there is strategies to go about it. And it's like personality will dictate which part of that you want to take on. If you're really extroverted, you're going to go migrate towards the networking of things. You're really introverted, websites.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
So as we kind of move through this, there's new people coming and there's old people retiring constantly. Corey and I always call it hanging up the old apron posts.
Yeah. I always see we're hanging up the old apron. Life changes. In me and Heather, it just the turnover rate, just like in car sales, is actually pretty big when it comes to home bakers. Life changes. You have a kid starts going to school, you end up getting a job, and people come and go from this industry. It looks different now. It's a whole
Just of
different.
names. Corey and I will see a name. Some of you guys will join the marketing group. Years have passed, you've left, then you'll come back and you're like, I used to be a
Yeah.
member, I'm back
And
into
they're
it.
like, oh, I'm starting it up again. I'm like, wow, we went through a whole like edition of your life.
Right. A lot of people move. So the big takeaway of this is I was talking with someone in the marketing group about a poll of when people are really business centric, it seems to extend the lifespan of their business, which the
Yeah.
poll came out that the average baker's been in 6 years, which matches with COVID.
Yeah.
However, their average competition they see is around 2 years, which is just enough for life to shift. Your kid moves from
Oh, yeah.
kindergarten to middle school or elementary to middle to high school, college. You
You
have
go
that
from
life
one
shift.
kid to two kids.
The odds of people moving, especially in the military type people, 2 years, just relocating, people get overwhelmed going back to work because life
Yeah.
shifts, unemployment, someone loses a job. So you may be the new baker. You are not at a disadvantage.
Yeah. No,
You have a
I would
lot of work in
say.
front of you. I'm not gonna
You
lie.
do. You do, but you have so much opportunity in front of you that I'm not even worried about you in the least. It will be hard work. Unfortunately, there's no light switch in marketing, as me and Heather have searched high
Wish.
and low for.
Come on, AI.
Never
Come on,
found it
AI.
yet. But it's just a great opportunity for you to be joining this industry. And it's a fantastic industry to join because it's home based. You have an oven. But like me, you could have gotten a mixer. I started off with a refurbished one. So the buy-in is a lot smaller than, Heather's rug tufting, where she has literally nothing that went for it. Who has yarn guns laying around? Not I.
It
But I
wasn't
do have a
me.
baking sheet and a refurbished
Yeah, and
KitchenAid
in
that I
terms
can.
of flexibility, yes. I say I gave it the 9 to 5 so I could work 24/7, right? The
Yeah.
joke is that you take on more stress when you're self-employed. However,
Yes.
you make all the decisions. Like Corey and I are like, this is exhausting, but I wouldn't give it up.
Yeah, I know. What's so funny, and Heather has referenced my dad as a business owner. He said growing up, I wouldn't wish business ownership on my worst enemy. And Heather's
Boy.
like, all right, I want to do that.
Okay, because if you didn't like it, you wouldn't still do it. And he did it, and
I was like,
he's
I
about to
don't
retire
know.
here.
I kind of listening to
He
what he said.
did the whole thing, except for you're the one who called and said we start this tomorrow.
Yeah, because he said if I have Heather under my wings, she's the wind beneath my wings, I
Let's
could
go,
do
girl.
it.
Flap, flap, real high.
Yeah.
So, will business ownership be easy? No, but will you be able to determine exact? That's the flip side of the coin. It's like, well, I'm dealing with a lot more problems. Now you have to talk to the IRS yourself. It's not just logging on to what was it, not Quicken Loans, but what's the one where you just TurboTax. And you
Yeah.
got to get a CPA, you got to get a business license. You got to say, do I need a trademark or not? Like that's the 17 hats that are gross. But you get to choose which hat you get to wear. It
It
gets to be your own choice.
it's so rewarding. And the rewards come from people are like, oh my goodness, you baked for me when I had a lady. She's like, you baked for when I got engaged, my wedding, and now my baby shower, my baby's first birthday, and then we made her baby's second birthday. I
Crazy.
said, wow, we've aged together.
You're gonna tell her, can you get another baby? I'd like another
Yeah,
one.
I need a few more orders. Do you think you're gonna crank one out?
Yeah. But now, like in terms of just throttling back, you could have this full time. It could move into part time. I see people, oh, my husband, my wife is laid off. I'm throttling this up.
Yeah,
We're just going to pay
yeah.
the bills. I seen people like my husband never trusted that this was anything, and now I just paid the mortgage payment, or I took us to Disney.
Yeah, it is what you bake it, pun intended.
There you go.
And it's so fun that you can make it to be what you need in your life at the time. So my son, older, 16, doesn't really love to hang out with me as much as we used to. So I can take
You?
on more orders.
He doesn't like to hang out with you?
Not in my car. He has even more time on his hands.
He's got some, yeah, he's got no handle in his hands. That's what we know for sure.
Oh, so yeah, no, if you want to come and join us in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, we're focusing on more beginner-friendly content because we posted it about 5 years ago. So we're bringing that back because I know a lot of people, are new again or you're starting over again, and that kind of content will help you because it's ever changing. What worked 5 years ago doesn't work today.
Yeah, looking at you, vertical form filmed video.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of the shops aren't around that used to be around, and a lot of the concepts around. It's just wild to see it shift. I love it. I hate it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So upcoming, the Cookie College is the membership that we offer that we launched back in 2021, and then we've continued to add to it. Now I'm working on cleaning up the messaging. So pardon our dust. But in the meantime, there's still a lot of really great quality content there. I'm working on the cookie class kit that's ladybug theme. In fact, Corey wished we taught it, but we're not teaching it.
I know,
Yeah,
but I
that's
loved
something
it.
Corey did. And it'll be out this week. Our cookie class kits are the curriculum you need to plan, prep, and teach an in-person cookie class. High cost of living area. We charge $85 a ticket, $35 a DIY kit. That does include taking Eventbrite fees and absorbing them. I do feel like we could charge more, but that's our sweet spot because we have no cost of room. So we're able to move the numbers around a bit to be more competitive, which is a lot of what we talk about here. the cookie class kits, when you sign up for the cookie college, get an additional benefit. It's the DIY kit photos. So not everyone loves to stand in front of a room.
True.
And that would be a bummer if you can't capitalize on it. But you can take all that curriculum and
Yeah.
sell it as a DIY kit, which is something that we already sell. Corey loves DIY kits because it requires no decorating, just the
Yes.
setup. And we
Yeah.
have a lot of people come to class and they don't want us to decorate for them. They just want the icing that's not going to drip off the
Yeah.
side of the cookie or never harden up or dry too
Be too
quickly.
stiff. Yeah.
Yeah, so the class kits always have a component within the Cookie College membership of an additional photos for DIY kits. So you
Hmm.
can say, hey, it works like a pre-sale. You can say, hey, anybody want to buy these? You go order the cutters from Sweet Pink Love. We provide all the links. You package it in a box, include the PowerPoint, include the step-by-step playlist. Give that with the deal. You have a really competitive offer for something you did not have to speak to many people. Definitely
Yeah.
didn't have to teach class.
Yeah, the DIY kits is great. I know I'm working on the Halloween class this week, and there will be a Halloween DIY kit photo. You could use that. Sell it, never have to teach 1 ounce or iota. Just use that to make some sales.
Now, to really increase the money here, we do teach the classes, but Corey will make DIY kits. We sell them to the class participants, but she'll also make DIY kits to sell from the class kits own. So really kind of stretching that dollar from her cost.
Yes.
And when you sign up for the Cookie College, you don't just get that class kit. You get every class kit we've ever made. I think we're at 40, 40 what?
I think there you have one in your hands. I have one in my hands over here.
Let me tell you, as soon as you sign up for the Cookie College, you get Munch is back on the move, which in his defense, how many, just guess a number.
50?
47. You have 48. Oh, yeah, you have 48. 47 is a bug class.
Oh, okay, then I have 48.
Yeah, so I
Oh,
will
so
be,
49, 50. So we'll have a November and December
yeah,
one.
we'll be at the 50th mark. And when you sign up, there's a ton of more additional stuff. So if you want to learn about the Cookie College as it goes through its many iterations, you can go sign up at thecookiecollege.com. Get that class kit. If you're a member already, thank you so much. You'll be seeing the bugs hitting your screen.
Yeah, they're cute as a buttonhole.
Upcoming, our SEM birthday. I don't know why Cora makes me count down to it every year. Maybe she'll get a little giveaway. That'll be in 9 weeks. That'll be October 21st. Is only 9 weeks away.
October 21st. I guess I wasn't even in the Halloween mindset. I said, let's be in the marketing mindset.
Corey's a big fall spooky.
You
I
know,
don't say it's like Halloween. You just like the fall.
I just like the holiday season
Yes, but you have to.
is,
She wants to elongate it, so she gets into it in September.
yeah. So I haven't decorated for Halloween, and that's because I'm trying to, what I find, it's not that I love fall. I don't love Halloween Day. I love the lead up to it, the excitement about it. I like when the stores change and the seasons change. So I'm only decorating for Halloween come maybe mid-September, and it will be something that I can look forward to because when you look forward to things, it's not about getting the box shipped to your door and
It's the
opening it.
anticipation.
It's the anticipation.
Anticipation. Yesterday marked the last day for the East Coast for sunsets after 8 p.m. So it'll be setting before 8 p.m. today. Posted that in a community group and everyone said I ruined their day.
Yeah, yeah,
Who
yeah.
knew
No,
all
you
that? I
didn't.
was kind of excited about it personally. I'm tired of the heat and the bugs. Upcoming holidays, back to school. I took a poll. Very few people did go back last month, which is wild to me, but a lot of people go back this month. Archer's kid, Corey's kid, Archer goes back next week. But
Next
where I
Tuesday.
live, they went back yesterday. Labor Day is in 3 weeks. Not a big holiday, but really marks the beginning of the shift into the end of Q3 and the beginning of Q4, where cookie Super Bowl season starts. If you're new here, brace your butts. You'll never experience anything like this. We always feel bad for the new baker who started selling at Christmas time because you don't realize that's not the rest of the year.
Yeah. But it's a great time to start. It's just not, don't put your expectations
We
on it.
call December a license to print money month.
And it, out of all these years, it's never not been.
It's never not been. I mean, it's par for the course. Again, I always say that bakers have to celebrate 2 months ahead of time. Got to order your
Yeah,
cutters,
I
do your
know.
pre-sales, take your
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah. So Heather,
Uh,
like I made a skeleton cookie and Heather said, oh, Halloween already?
My dad has wrist surgery this week, and she made him some suck up I'm the better twin daughter
It's like, come
cookies.
on, better do make him a rug, buddy. Make him a
Creepy.
rug.
I got a
I,
blister. I got a blister from
make him a
that.
hand, a rug to place his hand as it as it gets better.
NFL season is in 3 weeks. Not a big seller, but platters and DIY kits. Canadian Thanksgiving, gotta nod up to our neighbors. I think it's a bigger seller up there than it is down here.
Sure.
Halloween for us is in only 12 weeks. At least felt like bigger numbers when I started this year. Like
75 days till Halloween.
74 as of today. Am I wrong? Not
Nice.
sure. I
I don't
use a
know.
formula. You're using a countdown website. Veterans Day is in 12 weeks, and Thanksgiving in America is in 14 weeks. The STL Me About It segment is sponsored by Cookie Design Lab. Cookie Design Lab is this great software you can use. I saw Corey printing away yesterday.
I did. You know what? I'm a cookie cutter printer. Heather asked a question on the sugar cookie marketing page and was like, how often do you order cookie cutters in a year? And
Okay, and
I
I want
went
to spend, I
back and
want to
I
slap
said,
all the hands of you guys, and it said not printing them. How much? And everyone's like, I don't know what am I printing. I'm like, how much
I
am I to
know.
be
They
it?
weren't going to do that. I say I order maybe twice per year. And that's just like shapes that maybe people really, really wanted and nobody sells it. Like it's from a shop that doesn't have STL files. I'm a big fan of printing.
You are, and I set up Corey's printer, so she's hooked to my Bamboo Handy app, which is a bamboo printer.
And I changed my filament for the first time by myself.
You did? Yeah, you
I
didn't call
did.
me. Did you follow the instructions? Because we did a refill.
No, I didn't do the refill one. I actually had another canister. So I said, let me save. I have the refill down here where you're going to have to show me how to do it.
Very easy to do, but just
Okay.
follow the instructions or waste it like I did. Cookie Design Lab, you can go to check them out at cookiedesignlab.com. Code TWINS gets you 15% off, but they're also the sponsor of the STL Me About It segment, which if you call in and read your text on this podcast at 571-556-5644, you get a month of Cookie Design Lab. And that goes to area code 541. Area
Hi,
code 541. Message me, email me at heather@sugarcookiemarketing.com. I'll get you set up with Cookie Design Lab. Question about classes. Do you have people pay the full fee up front for your cookie decorating classes? Really simple answer. Yes. We use a platform Eventbrite. Yes, it has its processing fees and whatever the credit, you would
Yeah,
see that anywhere. However, it also has its own fees. Now, as the Eventbrite host person planning the event, I have the choice to make the end user pay the fees or I can absorb it. We do
I
absorb
will.
the fees as well.
Yeah, if you're not using Eventbrite and you're wondering, should I charge them at the door? And I love these kind of questions. Any new questions, if you're new to decorating, if you're new to taking classes, there's no bad questions here because someone's already been through it. If you think to charge someone at the door, the problem with putting cookie classes up, everyone has best of intentions to show up. The problem is on the day of cookie decorating class, people will have things that pop up. You've already made the cookies, you've already made the icing. When you don't charge beforehand, you'll find that people actually won't show up because there's no pain of paying. They are not losing anything when they don't pay beforehand. And if you're just resting assured, you'll have a lot of people that will pay at the door and you'll be just fine. It's that one time that comes where a group of three say, well, so and so was sick and I don't want to decorate without them, but you've allotted the time, you've sold the seats, you've made the stuff, and then you're left holding the icing bags with no cash in your hand.
Is that a
So
perfect
accepting
room?
payment beforehand,
Left holding the bag, the icing bag. Was that
the
a
icing bags,
okay? That's good. That's
all
good.
eight of them. What you want to do is just make sure that you take payment pre done. So if you don't feel comfortable taking it months in advance before you bake the cookies, that would be a great time. So a week out. Hey guys, I'm collecting it. Since we're trying to make business more efficient, it's good to take payment at the time of booking so that you have one less thing on. You're not chasing people while you're
Yeah.
trying. Like I'm
Should I
trying
give
to.
up or should I just keep chasing payment? Thank you, Dell.
Yes, yes.
Must have been a baker.
Uh,
That's not the song, but it just
Sure.
always what I hear when people are like chasing payment. When you do, and it's a competitive advantage. You may be like, hey, I'm willing to take the risk because I know I'll secure more orders if
Yeah.
I let people pay at pickup, right?
Yes.
But then you also take that risk on yourself as if they don't pick up. So with uh what I do, kind of a hybrid approach, I don't want to chase payment, and I also don't want to take payment at the door for fear people won't show up because we kind of got to plan ahead. We have limited seating. Eventbrite, you can set your own refund period. So I do mine 7 days out to class. They can self-serve the refund. That
Yeah.
way they still can get out of it, granted, because they're all signing up early. But if the plans change, as long as it's 7 days out, they can get their money back. Now, if it's less than 7 days, I might be willing to roll them in, but this is me bending policy. It always bites me in the butt.
It does. It's never not been us in the butt. But that's a great question. Yeah, you'd kind of want to accept payment beforehand so you have less work to do on your end. And then the seats are sold. And then what you bake is what is being used. And we've had it where people haven't shown up to class and they're like, well, what can I do? I paid the ticket fee. Hey, if you stop by tomorrow, I have it in a DIY kit box for you. You can just take it home. I'll email you the PowerPoint. You can follow along at your own leisure.
It's funny with the policies that we have set up. Typically, when people are no-shows, I never hear from them again either.
Yeah, I know.
And that comes with the right kind of communication, the right kind of policy, the right kind of refund. I don't like keeping people's money hostage, but there has to be also a policy so it's not just me just refunding everything. Because remember,
Yes.
there's processing fees. You got to check. Not all the time is the fee refunded as well.
I know. Yeah, you'd take a double loss there. Great question. Great question.
Basically, we should all start a credit card company.
Yeah.
Cash in. Our sponsors are the only reason we're able to run this podcast for 274 episodes. And a special thanks to Cookie Design Lab, code TWINS, 15% off Bakety Bake Meringue Powder Your Dreams. If you're new and you haven't been poached by a specific meringue powder, or you're fighting your gear, if you fight
Yeah.
your gear, fighting your
Yeah.
meringue powder, I find that Corey always had this, like, I could see it when she first got started. She's like, I just can't, especially in the summertime, it's really humid here. She's like, I just can't nail icing bleed. And it causes me so much anxiety. We
Almost quit.
saw that. She
Almost quit.
then she said, "This is the year." This is a couple years ago. She said, "This is the year I saw it," and you did.
Yeah.
And
I
a
did.
big boon to that was Bakety Bake. Use code TWINS to get 10% off. You just manipulated the recipe a little bit.
It was all about how you incorporate your meringue powder even before the powdered sugar ever touches it. And then the mixing process, and it's the science that's going on beyond my knowledge of what's happening in that bowl. But the way you mix it is what stabilizes the meringue powder and prevents color bleed. Now, if I make black icing, which I used to hold my breath or do transfers by the bajillions, I don't even think about it. And that rebirthed.
Time
Just
in
to
the
know
saddle.
that.
It's half time in the saddle. It's half aligning with people willing to give you that tip that makes all the difference.
Yeah, and if you want to, I always give my recipe away in the baking group. So if you want to go in there, go find it.
We
I've
recently turned it into a PDF. It looks nice. Corey
it looks
Polly.
nice and it's exactly what I do. So if you're like, why are you doing this? I don't know. It works. And
Yeah.
I ain't about to second guess it.
Daisy Mix is cake pops for sugar cookie people. It's a really cool system. You got to go check them out. They always have really cool things going on. Amy is also running What's Popping Con. Go follow What's Popping on Facebook page. They're doing giveaways for
I
tickets, so you
know.
could
I
go
know.
if she'll have us back this next year. It's up in Ohio. Use code TWINS10 to get 10% off a shop. Primera Eddie also has Freddie, also has Connie. It was funny.
Yeah.
In this other group, I was reading these people arguing because it's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's my hobby. And someone was like asking about a Freddie, and the comment said, "Well, wow, you don't have to ice him anymore. You don't have to decorate him anymore with Eddie and Freddie. Like, where's you can't even call these customs anymore." And I saw somebody else say, like, "Do you use a stencil? Do you use a mixing bowl? Do you use meringue powder? Do you use a projector, a 3D
Yeah.
printer?" Like, these are tools for efficiency. And when we're going to talk about pricing in the upcoming podcast, uh, tools increase efficiency, which lower production cost and increase time
I
and allow
know.
you to take on more orders. So don't fight your gear. Yes, if your ego wants you to ego bake and you're only going to hand paint, there's hand painting in terms of a strategy, and there's hand painting in terms of a protest behavior.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
I always say that when the ego is involved, there's a healthy amount of ego that pushes you to be better. Then
Mhm.
there's the unhealthy amount of ego that pushes you to tell people you're better than them.
I
There's
know.
a
Yeah.
line there.
That little fine line right there.
Yeah, so I'm really impressed with Primera Eddie. The edible food printer, it prints directly onto the cookie. Corey loves her. She's constantly incorporating them into orders, specifically corporate orders.
Oh,
They-
yeah, it's been great. And I've been pushing myself to use him in more of the just birthday orders, the one-off birthday orders. He's
oh,
great for backgrounds. Great.
oh, just I said adds a little something you couldn't even create with an airbrush.
No, yeah, I even had a lady who ordered last week and she was like, "Yeah, I like that printed wood background. Please incorporate that." I said, "Okay."
I wanted to say in the big shifts we've seen, we've talking about AI and the shifts in marketing, but shifts in the baking industry
Oh, yeah.
is these direct to food printers of which they just add this, and it's it's the projector and it's this and it's that and the other,
Yeah,
but like
yes.
there's these industry shakeups that really, you have the ego where I don't want to do that. And you're like, dude, don't do that. You're going to get left behind and I don't want to see
Yeah, the
you.
3D printing, being able to do it at home and saving on
All the
shipping.
shops moving over to STLs,
Yeah.
selling those so you can put
STL
them at home.
libraries. Oh my
The
goodness. You
cost
sound
of the cutter reduced a ton, which allowed the baker to keep more money, which allowed the cutter shop to work while it sleeps. Like, it really,
well,
these
the customer is
restaurants.
always winning because I'm like, I can do that. I can make that custom shape. I can buy that STL. Your set, it looks exactly the way you want it. I'm
Yes.
not waiting. I don't have to tell you no because I'm waiting for it to arrive in time.
The cutter shop gets to sit by their computer while they watch TV and design the digital file.
Yeah.
You get a print at home. Don't worry, I'll see it when you finish. And then the customer gets that truly custom shape. Premier has Eddie, the edible food printer. Freddie, it's an icing machine that ices. If it sounds insane, that's exactly what it is. And now they have Connie, which is the
It's a printer,
edible.
but for like edible wafer paper, sugar sheets, and things like that. So cake people or cookie people that want to do the corporate orders and don't have the budget for Eddie quite yet, that's apparently it's so different than using a Canon printer, which is what most bakers were
Using a
using.
Canon printer to print off like literally a piece of paper that I needed for something is also just hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna
printers in
get a
general.
Connie and print off my like tax return. Just like
I
have it as
know,
a
but
viable printer.
they did the pre-orders now, and it's going to ship out beginning mid-September if you wanted
Okay,
to get
good
on
to
the
know. You
Connie
can check
train.
that out on their website. Bosch Nutrimill, not a sponsor, but is an affiliate. Meaning, if you use those other discount codes, we don't make a dime. That's just those shops being really nice. They're not only
Yeah.
paying to sponsor the podcast, they wanted to give you guys something else. But Bosch Nutrimill doesn't pay. They do give us some mixers to give away sometimes, which is great. Love
Yeah.
it. But use
Yes.
code Sugar Cookies, you get $20 off.
$20. Do you have a twin trust?
Yeah, I'm being plagued by tiny, tiny, tiny gnats.
Tiny little
And I
bug.
was complaining to Corey, and she was like, there's these things called, I said, Ziva. I saw an ad for them. And they're at Walmart. So I skedaddled my little bun hiney there yesterday. Find the Zeo display. It's massive. You could bet a small one or a big one. I don't know. I went all in. I hate these gnats. We're launching warfare. Plug one in upstairs, plug one in downstairs. The downstairs ones that has like 30 bugs on it already. They're tiny. They're like microscopic. But
Yeah.
I'm winning the battle.
Well, if you've never, what it is, it's a plug-in and it emits a blue light. Behind the blue light is actually a sticky, sticky thing that just sticks the bugs to it. Kind of gross when you look at it, but it shields it so you don't have to see the dead bugs in,
I've
front
taken
of
it
you.
off the wall 50 times to see if it caught anything.
Yeah, so they're actually really handy. They come with you could buy refills for them. So if you
I
get
did.
too many
I
bugs,
did.
you can I'll bring a little I have this Apple thing that collects what you're talking about, those little things.
A what?
It there's this kind of little cute plastic apple. Inside the
Okay.
apple is the little scent that those little bugs are talking about, and it traps them in there. So I'll
Oh.
bring my extra apple for you. Those bugs are big and they like sourdough things. So if you had a sourdough starter,
Oh, they'd be a
well,
plague. They said it's so humid. It's been so humid lately. It's rained almost every day. It's just, I woke up, all the windows have fog on them because it's that humid.
yes, yeah.
These bugs are like thriving. When it started raining, just these big raindrops, they all came to this window, the little tiny gnat things.
Yeah, they were like, I don't want to get rained on. A big raindrop would take out a population of those
I
things.
know, but like I'm impressed by these. If you're being plagued by the gnat population, because fall doesn't seem to want to reveal its hands yet,
No.
like these little Zevo lights. I'm a fan. I'm day
Yeah.
two. I'll report back.
Heather said I had to have a twin dress. These perfume oils, one of the first thing I ever ordered on TikTok, and I've only ordered a handful of things. Back in 2023, these were viral for some odd reason on TikTok. But this one is called Spice Pumpkin Patchouli. If you are a fall lover, look, I'm dangerously low on it. Hardly.
That's good.
This will make you smell like fall, but it lasts all day. And
What
so
is
name will,
patchouli? Because whatever it is, I like it.
I
It
don't know
doesn't
what
taste
patchouli
like
is.
food. It's not food.
It's a spice, maybe?
Oh, that'd be a good one. What is
This other one is called Bakery Air. When I have customers pick up, I'll put this on myself.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I
Smells like
don't
a
know.
bakery. Air
Oh,
on my body. Smells
it's a
delicious.
it's a bushy herb from the mint family.
No, oh, from the Mint family.
Ah,
But this is from Land of Oz. And Oz has two A's, and that's why it's weird. LandofAAHS.com. But they do these little drops of these little rollers, and you can get them bigger and you can get them less. I just really liked them. And I've
is it
got,
like you smell it, you go like and I was like
oh, I'm like,
the
I
name,
do it throughout the
but the
day.
name, right?
Land of Ah, yeah. Ah, I think.
Interesting. 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 Two of you guys sent us packages. Thank you so much. My mom picked up the mail. Odd, but they're at her house. Thank you. She has texted it to us, but we will unbox those
Me
and
and
talk
Heather are
about
gonna
them.
go and get my
Oh,
dad
yeah.
dinner
Our
on
dad,
Thursday.
this is we go to my parents' house. My dad is 68, 69, 68.
Something. The eight.
And he's getting wrist surgery. Just a little, it's not his first surgery, it's not his fifth surgery. The man loves to be under a
He
scalpel.
loves the surge.
And my mom's like, your dad wants attention when he's having a surgery. So that is the warning shot that this man wants attention after he has a surgery. So he's having a surgery on Thursday. I'm gonna go pick up Chick-fil-A. Corey's made him a custom set of bone cookies.
It says you're awesome, a thumb, because I think
Of
he's
a
getting surgery on
skeleton.
his thumb. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
one says you're awesome, and that one says thumbs up. And then it's a skeleton cookie of a thumb. And then I
So
got
since
him a,
I can't make a rug, I have to go get Chick-fil-A.
yeah, I got him a clicker that clicks from one video to the next, so you don't have to actually swipe up on your screen.
Yeah,
So you could
yeah.
just have it next to your hand and click
He's
it.
actually been coming over since I moved here mowing the lawn. It's now basically his lawn, and I'm great with that because the tiny bugs are ridiculous. But he was like, "Head, like you'll have to start mowing your own after this." But he's coming tomorrow to mow, so he's getting one last in. I said, "You don't have to," and he's like, "No, I want to."
Oh.
I like the color of your shirt.
I thought we looked like twins today.
I didn't notice that until just now.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, we had the same twin
Tell
telepathy
them what
going
you
on.
got at Olive Garden that I've never had before that you said
Okay,
you
what
will.
was the name? Was
Yeah, I
it
took a screenshot of it because I want to take it. It is called Chicken Tortelloni Alfredo.
chicken tortellini Alfredo? I have always ordered the
It's
same
not a
thing.
tortellini, it's tortelloni.
Tortelloni?
It has an O in it. I'm not sure if that's right or wrong.
Tortelloni? Oh, whatever that was. My husband ordered it last night. He took me and Arch out for dinner. I always
The
get
Asiago cheese-filled tortelloni. Tortellini
those.
baked in creamy homemade Alfredo sauce.
I'm gonna just tell you.
Corey said it
That
was the best thing she's ever had.
I said I would abandon my normal order, cheese ravioli, marinara sauce, for that one. I kept eating it off his plate, so we ended up switching towards the end.
Wow, I'll have to try it.
So good. I'm even wanting to have it right now, just talking about it.
I would have to try it. Okay, guys, that is it. Thanks for re-meeting us if you're here. I don't think we covered anything we're not too out of the ordinary, I'll be honest. But I think we can tie back to kind of the history of marketing and sales. It's been my whole life. It'll probably be my whole life unless I go work for summer at Target.
Yeah.
But
We also said we could be pretty good police detectives.
oh, that's my definitely back. I love gossip and I love being in other people's business. Sign me up. Driving around too in a free car.
Yeah, free gas.
Having a good
See,
time.
I'm not paying for it.
Okay, Cora, I'll see you on our next duty shift.
I'll see you on Thursday.
Okay.